you know.
We had an explosion and we are descending immediately. We had fire on board.
Cubana 4-5-5, you attended to the field.
Aquí encima el Cubana 4-5-5. We are requesting immediately landing.
Cubana 4-5-5, you are clear to land.
Roger. ¡Cierra la puerta!
The time is 1-7. 2-7. Cubana 4-5-5, here for emergency arrest. On standby.
Eso es peor. ¡Pégate agua, pégate agua!
Ok, Cubana, vete Cari West 650, diga si le podemos decir en algo.
Fernando González está hoy en la cárcel y él está en la calle. Fíjate la diferencia, o sea, el que se sacrificó para evitar esos crímenes de Bosch, hoy sufre un castigo completamente injusto, porque de lo que él fue acusado, la sustancia de la acusación contra Fernando es precisamente la penetración del grupo de Orlando Bosch, de Bosch en particular. Él está en la cárcel y Bosch está en televisión todos los días.
¿Qué se logra en volar a un avión en el medio de vuelo?
Cuando usted está en guerra, lo mismo es un submarino que un avión, que un barco, que ¿por qué usted espera?
Yo le digo una cifra, dígame una cifra.
Chile, un año estuvo allí.
No, una cifra de cuántas veces usted ha intentado.
Dos veces me entrevisté.
Eliminar la figura de firma.
Me entrevisté para eliminarla, pero no lo pude conseguir.
There are very few cases in history that are political by their nature. This was one. In the Pentagon Papers trial, which I was fortunate enough to be a part of, the case involved a 40-year history between the U.S. and Vietnam. This case, likewise, involved the 40-year history between Cuba and the United States. The witnesses were very unusual. 3 generals from the U.S., 1 admiral, a presidential advisor, high-ranking military officials from Cuba. The politics was all laid bare before an American jury. Even Basilto testified, a leader of the counter-revolutionaries. So these 12 people heard it all. Unfortunately, it was in Miami.
Realmente la defensa desde el inicio de la investigación trabajó para demostrar la necesidad de Cuba de defenderse de las acciones terroristas y le dijo a la Corte que justamente la presentación de su caso iba a versar sobre esas acciones terroristas contra Cuba desde la década de los 60, finales del 59-60. Sin embargo, la Fiscalía se opuso de manera reiterada y dijo que nada tenía que ver esas acciones terroristas contra Cuba con el caso que se estaba ventilando.
There were violations that occurred right from the start to the finish. The arrest and the manner of the arrest. The 17 months in isolation, completely unnecessary. No bail, not necessary in this case. Accumulating the charges. 7 months later, adding a charge of conspiracy to commit murder. Placing the trial in Miami, where the government knew the defendants could not get a fair trial. Prosecutorial misconduct throughout the trial, with this prosecutor telling the jury that these men came to the United States to destroy the United States, not once but 3 times.
Porque realmente ellos son 5 hombres que están monitoreando las actividades terroristas que se generan en Miami contra Cuba y que han costado más de 3.400 muertos al pueblo cubano. Pero no se puede confundir el término espías con la actividad que están haciendo ellos desde el punto de vista legal, porque el término espía está referido a la persona que busca información de seguridad nacional. O sea, la información que se trataría de obtener para un espía sería información de carácter militar y de seguridad nacional de los Estados Unidos. Este no es el caso.
While the trial began, the case of Elian Gonzalez was playing out in Miami. As we all remember, Elian Gonzalez was the little kid, 7 years old, who was rescued at sea when the attempt by the mother to take him out failed, and those who were in that party were drowned, and the only one that survived was Elian. Elian's father didn't know about it. The mother's leaving the country in that manner, and he was abducted in Miami by some relatives. The right wing, the world knew how the right wing acted in that case, and while this was going on in the streets of Miami, the Five's trial started.
I feel in any other jurisdiction or venue, an American jury would have understood clearly, after hearing and seeing the evidence that's not in the American media, of course. But my experience is when a jury hears the political truths, they do follow it. And it could have happened in this case in any place other than Miami.
Miami is a very complex city. All of us who in one way or another support the end of the policy of permanent aggression by the United States against Cuba and oppose the policies of the right-wing elements of the Cuban community and denounce them, live under the threat of violence.
I cannot think of one example in United States history where a group of political exiles came to the United States and settled, and then within a generation took over United States control, that is United States policy, toward their country of origin. Ahora, no nos olvidemos que los primeros que llegaron allá llevaban consigo, se calcula que unos 420 millones de dólares